Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
PD Beats here from Popternative, speaking to Nia Sondaya about Season 2 of Yellowjackets on Showtime and Paramount+. Welcome to the show. Thanks so much for being here.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me.
I mean, it's exciting. I mean, episodes are rolling out. I mean, buzz, all that stuff, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's really cool.
When did you officially kind of grasp the fact that you were on such a chaotic show? Was it when you first kind of got on set? Or, because I feel the show is crazy.
Honestly, from the second I hit play on the pilot episode, from the second I hit play and I was like, all right, let's get into this and really see what I'm working with. And I was like, oh, this is what I'm working with. Yeah, that's when I knew. I was like, okay, this show is intense. It's insane. It's crazy, but it's also like brilliant. So yeah, from the moment I watched the show, I was like, oh, this is going to be crazy.
It's so crazy. And I kind of want to know, how much did you know about Akilah? What was the audition process like? What were the conversations like? Because that's very curious for me.
So that's a good question. And I actually, when I auditioned for the show for this season, I auditioned for Crystal. So that was the audition that I got. I auditioned for Crystal with those sides. And then I found out I was pinned, and I was pinned for a while, and then found out that I had booked Akilah instead and that they were doing some recasting. So once I found out that I was recasting someone else, then obviously I immediately was watching the show and studying and seeing, what Akilah's role really was and her place in the dynamic. So yeah, I'm going in was not fully grasping the role that I'd be playing, because I kind of was more in a Crystal mindset when I was auditioning. Yeah.
It's pretty amazing too to see everyone's in the wilderness, you're in this cabin, everyone's kind of surviving, but Akilah has these kind of relationships and discussions with a lot of people that we've seen so far in season 2, which is crazy, right? With Taissa, with Mari, with Shauna. What is that like, kind of getting to work with everyone? Because a lot of people that work on Ensemble, right, they don't know, maybe their cast is 30 people, but maybe they only work 4. But you get to work with everyone and have cool scenes with a lot of people.
And so what I will say is that there are a lot of group scenes, just a lot of moments where we're all just together in that cabin. So it was pretty cool because right off the bat, all of my first day on set, I was kind of in the room with everyone, and we were filming these big group scenes. So it was cool to get to watch everyone do their thing up close and personal. And also I had just watched the show. So it was cool, because I was like, wow, you guys are just on my TV, and now here you are in front of me doing the thing. So yeah, it was really cool. But getting to have those one-on-one scenes with Jasmine, when, Ty and Akilah have those sweet moments, was really fun. I mean, I love working with Jasmine. She's incredible. Learning from her is great. Every time I watch her, I'm learning and picking up things, because she's just so good. So yeah, it's really exciting, and I love working with Alexa. Anytime we have scenes together, it's just fun, because we're always cracking jokes and having a good time. So, and I'm also learning from Alexa as well. It's a good environment.
Sometimes it feels like school, because you're just learning all these different things, right? Yeah.
Definitely. And also just the dynamic, it feels like summer camp, or it feels like school, it's all of us together every day. We show up and do
I feel like Yellowjackets is such a multi-layered show in terms of the genres and elements in this show. Is there an element that you like the most about it, whether it's the drama, whether it's the supernatural, the kind of horror thriller component? I feel like it's so layered, you know what I mean?
It is very layered. I have a lot of things that I actually really do enjoy about our show. I would say that and just watching last night's episode, I said a million times, I think the way that the adult versions match their teenage versions, just how seamless it is just really, it amazes me every time I get to watch Tawny and Jasmine kind of, playing these scenes back to back. I love that element of our show, seeing their growth, seeing what how they've changed and how their experiences in the wilderness have clearly changed them, and you're kind of getting to figure out as you go along what they've gone through and how dark it really got for them out there. So I love that element, getting to see the adults versus the teenagers and seeing the growth there.
when you look at kind of the teenagers, kind of to add what you just said, because I think you hit it out of the park. That's such a great kind of statement you just said, a good point. But I feel like you have no choice. Like, you have to adapt to the situation. You're all lost in the wilderness and you have to survive. Some are grasping that idea, like character-wise, a lot more than others. Like, some are still in their own worlds, trying to you know what I mean? But that's cool.
Is so honest. Like, it's such an honest experience that, like, there would be some girls that would just be off in, you know, their own worlds, and there would be different, you know, friend groups and different, you know, dynamics amongst everyone. So it really does make sense. I love it that they do a little bit of like showing, like, each character has their own thing going on, kind of. It's nice.
Did you get the scripts in advance, or did you get them like week to week when you were filming?
It was mostly like week to week. Like, we got them, but like prior to filming, I think I got the first 2 scripts.
Okay.
So that was pretty like far in advance, I guess. And then as we were filming, it was about a week in advance, or maybe.
So by the time this interview is out, episode 6 will be out. That's a big Akilah episode. There's a lot happening. It's a big episode for a lot of people.
It's a big episode, period. Yeah.
I'm so happy for you, though. It's such an awesome episode for you.
Thanks. Akilah really does have to step up. And I thought it was really cool just because I think that in the first season, you really see that Akilah she's really quiet, but she's brave. Like, she will, you know, step up and kind of help out if she needs to. And I think that it was really cool because in this season, she gets a bit of a voice more. You see that she's not so afraid to speak up and to kind of like find her place in this group. Mm-hmm. And I loved episode 6 because I loved being able to give her that voice and to really be like, okay, because, you know, Akilah has all of this knowledge, and I just feel like it was finally her time to be like, okay, yes, I can be useful, and I'm not afraid to speak up and to really help out in this moment because I'm clearly needed, and this is the time for me to actually take.
Well, we know it's coming after how episode 5 ends and everything. So, you know, a lot of people can kind of clue in that, you know, it's going to be, you know, she's going to have the baby and everything. Yeah. So it's just a chaotic environment and everything.
Exactly. And it's really only Misty and Akilah who have any sort of like Girl Scout knowledge or like know anything about. So it's like you really have 2 people to help do the job.
Yeah, the selection process is...
Yeah, the selection process is like the process of elimination. You are stuck with what you got.
Is it really cool to also think about the communal component of it? Like we talked about a little bit where, you know, they have to adapt, and you said there's like an honesty to it. I love that you said that. It's really cool too to have that like feeling of it being kind of a community that has to be a community, but heads are always like you're always gonna butt heads no matter what.
Always gonna butt heads. Yeah. Yes, it's like anything. It's like with family. It's like within friend groups. You're always going to, you know, butt heads. But then, you know, at the end of the day, you can like go to your room, slam the door. You can like not talk to someone for a week. But in this, you know, environment, in this situation particularly, they are butting heads, but they've got nowhere to go. It's like forced proximity on top of starvation, on top of environmental, you know, challenges. It's just a lot that they're dealing with.
The set-offs too, like the boiling points, like some people are just over it. So like everything is gonna like get them upset, which is, it's crazy. Yeah.
And especially, it's like, I think about Shauna a lot and just like the amount of pressure she's under.
Totally.
Obviously, like, it's just like the amount of pressure she's under. She's freaking out. She's going to have this baby. And it's like on top of the starvation, the cult, that, you know, there's just so much going on for her. So I think like when I watch, I like feel the most for Shauna because I just know how, she's just due for breakdown.
We're going to reel it back to season 2, episode 2. And we're going to talk about how episode 2 ends, and we're going to talk about how sneaky and methodical the writers and the showrunners were. Because hear me out for a second. So,
okay,
all right, this is like to me the craziest thing. No, like I have to tell you, from an audience member, this was really crazy and trippy, and I'll explain why. So, episode 1, season 1 of Yellowjackets, it is kind of shared that it is about cannibalism. Like, you know what I mean? Right? So it's not a secret. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly. It's not like a spoiler. It's like the premise of the show.
But, you know, episode 2 ends where you all eat Jackie And I forgot it was a show about cannibalism. You know what I mean? Like you forget about it.
Surprised, like you kind of forgot about it because of everything else, and it snuck up on you. Like they're still starving, and this is a possibility, right?
Yeah, isn't that crazy though that a show can do that?
What I love most about it is that the pilot episode gives you like, it's like, whoa, like this has clearly become like a ritual. It becomes like what they do. And then to see the end of episode 2, it's like how innocent almost it begins, even though it's not, it's eating a person is never innocent, but it's almost just like, it was like purely out of like starvation and desperation. Like they just needed to eat, you know? And it's like sad, and it's all, I mean, sad, it's terrifying, it's a lot, but just to see how innocent it begins and to then imagine how it must spiral into becoming their routine, you know?
Yeah, but everyone's going, ew, oh my God, I can't believe it. But then it's like, okay, oh yeah, they alluded to that in episode 1 of season 1, right? Yeah. It's like it's trippy.
You knew we were gonna get there. It was just kind of like, how do they get there? Yeah.
Oh, it's so crazy. Can you expand a little bit on like learning experiences being on Yellowjackets? Because we talked about that a little bit about, you know, you working with like Alexa and everyone and everything. But like, I'm just curious about learning experiences on set.
I mean, to be honest, everything about this was a learning experience for me. It was like one of my first ever really big projects where I was in every episode, you know? And so it basically took a lot of like, just like learning the ropes. And it is amazing to work with these kinds of actors who are incredible, because you really just get to like see them like work off of each other and how the ideas, you know, bounce off and they play off one another. It's really great. And just like coming in every day and like learning the ropes of like learning like how much leeway you can get away with certain things. Just like when it comes to like maybe even costuming, like you like a certain thing and you want to maybe add it to your costume. Like, hey, would I maybe be able to add this scarf into, like, I don't know, just like learning that you like have some autonomy over your character and you can kind of just say what you might want to do, and knowing that your like directors are open to those ideas and being able to speak up. So that was really cool, that I learned like how to be able to advocate for my character, I guess, and like say, hey, I think Akilah would do this, or I think she would wear this, or, you know, those sorts of things. And that was really cool because I didn't know that was something I could do.
100%. And I do have to say, you have a cute little scene partner in some episodes.
Oh, I love him. I love him so much. So the mouse's name, like the actor, his name was Ritz, like the cracker. And he was so cute because he loved Ritz crackers, and he literally like, that's how we get him to
Ritz. That's so awesome.
They would like put the little crackers like down, and then we'd set them down, and he'd like pick it up and start eating, and then we'd start shooting. And like, he was so cute. A lot of running around. I was scared a lot of the time that he'd like run off, like, 'cause like I would like have him in my hand, and sometimes he'd like crawl around a lot, and I was like scared he'd try to like run off my hand. I'm like trying not to block the view of him. So I'm like trying to like, you know, play with him to keep him up. So yeah, but it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed him a lot. He was just the cutest little thing ever.
It's so crazy just to see how much goes on in the Yellowjackets. Sometimes I can't even believe
it's it. So much to unpack every episode. It's great.
It's crazy. And episode's kind of rolling out, and by the time this interview is out, episode 6 will be out. So episodes are kind of rolling out on Showtime, and people can stream them on Paramount Plus. Nia, so great chatting with you. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
This was awesome. Thank you so much.
Your Instagram account is just your name, right?
Yeah, it's Nia_Sondaya.
Yeah, so they can check that out. Awesome. Well, this has been Popternative, youtube.com/Popternative for previous episodes. You can catch Nia Sondaya as Akilah in season 2 of Yellowjackets on Showtime and Paramount Plus. Till next time, this is Nia and Petey Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.